Hello, my name is Kevin Brown, and today I'll be presenting my findings from my literature review titled Telehealth Based Remote Monitoring and Glycemic Control in Adults with Type 2 Diabetes mellitus or mellitus. Type 2 diabetes mellitus remains one of the most prevalent chronic diseases worldwide and continues to create major clinical and economic challenges. In the United States, millions of adults live with this condition, which is associated with serious complications such as cardiovascular disease, kidney disease, neuropathy, and vision loss. A key indicator of diabetes management is hemoglobin A1C, which measures long-term glucose control. Even modest reductions in A1C can significantly decrease the risk of complications. However, many patients do not reach recommended A1C targets under traditional care models. In-person visits are often brief and episodic, which limits opportunities for continuous monitoring and behavioral support. The PICO question guiding this review was, in adults with type 2 diabetes mellitus, how does telehealth-based remote monitoring compared to standard in-person care affect glycemic control as measured by HbA1c? A structured research was conducted in March of 2026 using PubMed, CINAHL Complete, and Google Scholar. The initial search yielded 9,499 articles. After screening titles, abstracts, and applying inclusion criteria, 5 peer-reviewed studies were selected for the final review. The purpose of this review was to determine how telehealth-based monitoring influences HbA1c outcomes in adults with type 2 diabetes. The first major theme that emerged from the literature is that telehealth-based remote monitoring improves glycemic controls. Across multiple studies, telehealth interventions were associated with statistically significant reductions in HbA1c levels when compared with traditional in-person care. One reason for this improvement is that remote monitoring allows providers to identify glucose trends earlier and make treatment adjustments more quickly. Increased monitoring frequency also improves communication between the patients and the providers. Long-term telemonitoring research demonstrated that these improvements can be sustained. One study evaluating a 12-month telemonitoring program found continued improvement in glycemic control throughout the study period. Additionally, research showed that even small improvements in HbA1c can have meaningful clinical benefits. For example, a reduction of just 0.5% in HbA1c is associated with decreased risk in microvascular complications. Although the level of improvements varied across the studies, the overall pattern suggests that telehealth monitoring can support improved glycemic control when implemented with consistent oversight and patient engagement. The second major theme identified in the literature is the importance of behavioral engagement and patient empowerment. The research suggests that technology alone does not drive improved outcomes. Instead, telehealth interventions are most effective when they include behavioral support strategies. Several studies highlighted the role of motivational interviewing delivered through telehealth platforms, which helps strengthen patient self-efficacy, encourage goal setting, and support a long-term lifestyle change. Patients using mobile health applications also reported increased awareness of their glucose patterns. Real-time feedback helped them make more informed decisions about diet and medication adherence and lifestyle behaviors. Research further showed that telehealth programs that included education and regular provider feedback produced stronger outcomes than systems that relied on passive monitoring alone. Overall, the literature suggests that telehealth works best when technology is combined with consistent communication, education, and behavioral support. In conclusion, the literature review found that telehealth based remote monitoring can improve glycemic control outcomes for adults with type 2 diabetes mellitus. Two primary themes emerge from the research. The first is that telehealth monitoring improves glycemic control when it is implemented with structured oversight and consistent engagement. Second is that behavioral support and patient empowerment are key mechanisms that drive the effectiveness of these interventions. These findings suggest that healthcare organizations may benefit from integrating telehealth programs into diabetes management strategies. Structured telehealth programs can enhance patient monitoring, strengthen provider communication, and support long-term disease management. From a biblical perspective, caring for individuals with chronic illness reflects the principles of stewardship and compassion. In Galatians chapter 6 and verse 2, we're reminded as believers to carry one another's burdens, and this reflects the relational nature of healthcare support. Additionally, 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verses 19 to 20 teaches that the body is a temple of the Holy Spirit and should be cared for responsibly. Telehealth monitoring can support patients in managing their health more effectively and responsibly, thus taking care of the temple where the Holy Spirit dwells. While further research is needed to evaluate long-term sustainability and access disparities, the current evidence supports telehealth-based monitoring as a promising tool for improved diabetes care. Thank you.